Welcome back to Crypto Excel. I'm going to do a brief market update and to let you know where I stand in the market and what I see happening here. We correctly on this channel called close to the top, not exactly the top, but pretty close. And what we're watching now is exactly when to get back in. We did short this last move here. Bitcoin was around 83K. We took that short and we did deleverage or de-risk. We did de-risk at the proper time because we had a slight bounce from approximately 74,200. And now we're currently back up to 76,581. I guess there's a peace deal going on now with Trump and Iran, which is cool. But the way how we see things is that we're in a rising wedge in a bear market. And when you're in a rising wedge in a bear market, you have a 70% chance of it breaking down and us retesting these lows of around 60,000. So while we did de-risk here, which was the correct thing to do, there is a very, very good chance that we end up coming back down and testing the range lows approximately around $73,000. So that's what I'm expecting to happen. At which point, when we test that, it's a possibility of breaking, and if not, us going back up to the top. Remember, if we are still in the fourth year of the bear market, we still have to wait until Q4 until Bitcoin finally reaches its bottom and turns around and goes into a bull market. Now, that's if the cycle pattern repeats itself, which it has been repeating itself up until this point. So if it's not broken, do not fix it. On this channel, we're cautious. We're watching Bitcoin dominance and ETH dominance. And until we see some semblance of a change, we're going to say that this is just like the last cycle, macro-wise, as far as the charts are concerned. The details, as far as precisely when we make these moves, well, the details could be a little bit tricky, and the devil's in the details. So if you're trying to time it exactly, well, that probably won't work. I think we've been reasonably lucky. I will say that some of the pattern is a little bit off. For instance, we reach all-time highs before the halving. I find that quite strange. Also, the percentage drop and the speed, the accelerated drop in the beginning, that was a little bit off also. All right. But that all being said, we can only watch the charts, and we're seeing that we're in a rising wedge right now, which is a good chance that it breaks down. And if it does break down, I expect the 60,000 to be a very, 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 very strong support. Okay. I think it's going to take a lot to break that. Now, on this rising wedge, you'll see declining volume. If I see declining volume on a rising wedge, I'm thinking that we are going to break down. Okay. That's so basically, my stance on the market already. And we're going to continue to use this range to accumulate more Bitcoin, accumulate more capital for the bull market that we're expecting to come towards the end of this year. So we are looking at Ethereum dominance, which is currently, Bitcoin dominance is currently at near 60%. That is very high. This is on the weekly chart, and you can see that we're on support. So there's a good chance we bounce from here. And if you look at this bar, this long red bar here on Bitcoin dominance, when we go back up, if I see a solid bar like this, I'm thinking that it's going to retest that range. This is a very big range. It's only about 5%, and 5% may seem small. But when you're holding altcoins in a bear market, that 5% could feel like hell. So be very, very careful out there if you're holding alts. I'm not saying don't accumulate alts at all, but again, I wouldn't be putting the majority of my bag in when I think we're gonna break down from here. Ethereum dominance is on a downtrend, and it seems to be on a perpetual downtrend. We were on a downtrend since August of last year, and despite the small bounces in the hopium, the net trend is down. So if the trend is down, the trend is your friend, so why pretend? The trend is down until it's not down. If you look at where it ended up last time in April of 2025, it was around 7%, right? So I think there's a very good chance we retest the lows. And if we do retest the lows for Ethereum, that could we're looking at an $1,800 or $1,300 Ethereum. $1,300 Ethereum is quite possible. Nothing is out of the scope here. And if that happens, your others chart, your other altcoins, the micro caps that we're interested in, are going to be decimated. If you look at this capitulation wick here, we had a October of 2025 on the others chart. So these are the cryptos excluding the top 10. So this is a top 10 dominance. So the entire crypto market excluding the top 10 coins, it wicked all the way down here to 4.8%. We're currently at 7.72%. So that's almost half. If we have a capitulation wick because of a black swan event, or some major thing happens and we have another wick, that would be a very good time to scoop up some altcoins. You can look at the individual charts on the altcoins to see how they're faring versus this capitulation wick and how they're performing. And the ones that are not near this low are the stronger altcoins. Just a FYI. So again, on this channel, we're patient and we're waiting. We're watching Bitcoin dominance and Ethereum dominance. And on this capitulation wick, should it happen again, we're expecting it. That's when we're going to scoop up some alts. If you want to find out which altcoins I'm going to be scooping up and at what price points I'm going to be scooping up these altcoins, be sure to tune in to this YouTube channel. And do remember that my Patreons are going to get the buy alerts first. Okay, and we're going to be scooping these things up at the all-time lows, and we're going to be holding them going into the bull market. So the capitulation event I'm expecting within the next couple months, actually, the summer months, June, where June is upon us, a couple days from now, about 7-8 days from now, we're in June. July, I'm expecting a low around July or somewhere around there. And the bull market to start around October of 2026, roughly. I'm not saying exactly because the pattern rhymes, it does not repeat. It's not exact, okay? But that's what we're looking at here. And I'm expecting another wick. I'm expecting a retouch of this, and that to be a tremendous buying opportunity around that time, all right? So do like and subscribe. Okay, I never mentioned that in my videos. Make sure you do that. It helps the channel out. And the Patreons are going to be getting buy alerts when we come down here. All right. I'll see you guys at the top. I'll be checking out Bitcoin dominance and keeping you informed. This has been Crypto Excel with your market update, and I'll see you at the top.